I know what you're thinking. Another balding man in his mid-30s sitting in front of a bunch of old toys talking about movies. But, give me a bit of a break. I haven't set up the neon lights yet. But if you think that's cringe, then check out this movie. Yeah, so I'm sitting there with my two sons. One's 5 and one's 13, and I thought, what movie can we watch tonight? We like to watch a movie together. A few scary ones that's suitable for a 5-year-old, and we come across this movie. And thought, well, better look at the rating first, and I can see it's rated PG. It's from 1975, so, we probably just chucked this one on safely. It's a 70s monster movie, so it's not exactly, they're not usually realistic, those old monster movies, so we chuck it on. Now, the spiders land, and it's literally just what looks like someone's shot a flare into the sky, and that was the spiders coming down. So I thought, well, that's probably what we're in for here. It was supposed to be a meteor landing with spiders inside it, but it was just a flare falling from the sky. And anyway, the spiders arrive, but before anyone notices the spiders, they've obviously been up to no good in the fields and whatnot. It starts off on a farm, and they walk up to the bodies of these cows that they've found. Now, I'm pretty sure laid on the ground, completely ripped open, were actual real cows that they've found for this movie. So just, right off the bat, it really brought the PG rating into question. I thought to myself, well, before I jump on the remote, kids have to learn about death at some point, but I thought, surely they're not going to show stuff like this throughout the movie. Lo and behold, about 45 minutes later, we saw a tit. So, I know it's just a human body, but we were really, really hanging by a thread there. Luckily, there wasn't too much more that was ridiculous. I don't know if I'd recommend watching it with your family, unless you're happy with them seeing severed cow heads with 1,000 flies hovering over it and guts ripped out all over the grass. But just keep that in mind before you put it on. But to get back on track of what this video is about, so we're watching the video. We got this old farmer character who seems to completely hate his wife and daughter. He's found all the eggs that these spiders have come out of, and they are filled with what appears to be diamonds. So they're in the kitchen and they're discussing how much these diamonds will be worth, and the wife's really excited, and he's just like, "What are you excited for? Like, you're not getting to having a bar of this." So apparently that small town has its own rock store, so he goes down to the rock store where he gets told that the rocks are basically worth nothing. And he goes home, and X amount of time later he finds a dead body on his property, half eaten. They are giant spiders that seem to eat people whole at some point, but in this particular circumstance it's just eating some of the meat off his ribcage. Maybe the smaller tarantulas somehow got him. He was on a motorbike, so it must have been a hell of a show. You don't see it. And he's decided to protect his 50-cent gems and bury this body on his property. So no cops were allowed over at that point on when they're looking for him. So apart from the occasional body turning up and headless cows and heads of the cows covered in a million flies, it was just a whole lot of people talking about eggs they'd found on the property, the occasional, what looks like a spray-painted tarantula walking around the house. I don't know too much about tarantulas, maybe it wasn't spray-painted, but I don't know. You don't often see arachnids in the wild wearing high-vis. And it was about 39 minutes before we saw any kind of giant spider, and we're sitting there, and the woman sees a spider in a bedroom, a little spider, and we think, oh, okay, the music's building up now. Here comes the action. And she opens up her drawer, and I don't know how it got in there, but there was probably like a spider the size of a dog. She instantly shuts the the drawer on it and runs away. And I'm thinking, okay, like that looked a little worse than I thought it was going to look, but we'll bear with it because it's just one of the small ones, clearly a puppet or something like that. It's the 70s, give them a break. And she goes outside, she runs through a couple of spider webs. Apparently tarantulas make spider webs now. She gets caught in that, goes outside into the barn. Now you'd think with giant spiders in the bedroom and spider webs all over the house, they must, I tell you, they must have knocked them out bloody quick, because from the time she went from the bath to the bedroom, they had completely webbed up the hallways, just these little hand-sized tarantulas. But yeah, she's decided to go into the barn, and then we see what we assumed was the giant spider, the real deal, the real McCoy, if you will. And she's standing there and she's walked in and she's seen this thing on the second level, and it's just absolutely launched at her, which is fair enough because, you know, the tarantula is a hunting spider. This thing's probably just twice the size of a man. And we're sitting there and it's dived on her, and out of nowhere, it's just silence in the house. And then my 5-year-old son, that's just a toy! We waited 39 minutes for what was clearly just a toy that was just, I don't know, one of the film grips just launched it, just threw it off the second floor of this barn, and it's landed on her and taken her out. Good Lord. Yeah, it was not looking good, but we'd reached the halfway point. We're not turning back now. So the next day, you know, the farmer wakes up, the daughter wakes up. Where's Mum? They don't have a clue, despite, I mean, I guess they missed all the blood and the spider webs in the house. Farmer goes out, has a look for more of those gems, and then we've over the halfway point now. We've been butted up for what we could only assume would be just an absolutely spectacular finale. And to their credit, you know, they've actually brought out some giant spiders. At this point, I will add that I'm trying not to give spoilers for this movie. All the footage I've shown so far is what's in the trailer. I do want to add in just a scene for you guys to look at to hopefully entice you to watch the movie if you haven't already. And that's the sheriff. Now, he's been walking along or driving along, whatever he was doing at the time, and he spotted one of these giant spiders. And I'm talking the size of a house spider. And he's decided to himself, don't worry about backup. I'm going to go not only shoot at this thing, but I'm going to do it at close range. I'm going to get right up in this thing's face and somehow take it down. And as you can probably imagine, well, you know what, just look at the footage yourself. You don't need to imagine. So as you can see, he's busted in the scene. He's only got 6 bullets. He's run out. He's absolutely belting this thing's body with his bandolier, trying to save these old people. And in the end, he's just copped it, unfortunately. He's done his absolute best, better than anyone else. Wasn't the best thought plan, but it's better than no plan. And he managed to save 2 people in the process. Probably don't fight a giant tarantula in hand-to-hand combat if you ever get the chance, or at least shoot it from a distance, I would say, but I'm old-fashioned. So what did we learn in the end? Probably not a lot. It was a bloody good movie. Nah, fuck that. It's not a good movie. So guys, to put things into conclusion, what did we learn? Absolutely nothing. Was it a good movie? No, it wasn't. Would I watch it again? Absolutely. It was a pretty good 5 out of 10, I guess, kind of monster movie. Probably wouldn't, yeah, just the PG rating is definitely questionable, but what do you do? Just a tit, just a dead animal. Yeah, I'm going to get Father of the Year for letting the kids watch that one, but it was entertaining, and that's the main thing about movies, isn't it? As long as they're entertaining, you give them a watch. I've seen high budget movies that just bore me to death, so yeah, this one was good. So give it a try. Yeah. Enjoy your day. Maybe you'll see you next time.